Please give your calls to the 4 hierarchs of the elements.
$399.
Diana,
Now may we lend assistance to those who desire the rainbow fire of fiery salamanders. For we are here in full force, and we will have you know it, that this will be a warming affair and fire. We, the four hierarchs of the elements, take our orders from the lords of karma and from the four cosmic forces, Lord Sanat Kumara, Gautama Buddha, Lord Maitreya, Jesus Christ, who are the four pillars in the temple of our God, even the ruby ray masters. Therefore, one and all, Oромасис and Diana, Aries and Thor, beloved Neptune and Luara, and Virgo and Pelur, we do take our assignments and transmit them through elemental life and the nature kingdom. Thus does the law of karma itself permeate all space and all matter, and it does bind the very electrons in their courses. Therefore, beloved ones, we are hierarchs who serve the four quadrants, and we do serve to assist you in regulating the flow of light, energy, and consciousness through your four lower bodies. When you receive fiery salamanders, receive them in your etheric body. When you receive the sylphs of the air, receive them in the mind, for the mind requires aerating and purging and purifying, and the etheric body does require that fiery baptism ere it can descend into the physical plane. When you call Neptune and Luara, when you call the undines, let them come forth for the washing and the scrubbing of the desire body and the astral plane. And when you call forth the gnomes of Pelur, be ready for a change and a restoration of the physical body. Thus, with these four gathered, your body elemental will be delighted, for this body elemental, he or she, does, in the sense of the word, direct these elementals who come to the aid of that one. Thus the five, therefore, become an action of the five secret rays, and they also aspire to carry the light of the five Diani Buddhas, and they are also delighted that you have appealed to the Diani Buddhas, for they need those rays of the cosmos for the healing of the cells of your forms. Now, beloved, be seated for my oration. For I have come to give an oration this day. I have come to speak of liberty and of Mother Liberty, and I have come to speak on the plight of elementals, for they, like the lords of karma, are also waiting the day of your God harmony, for they know in the day of your God harmony you will have that Christ accomplishment necessary to give some time in their direction for the action of the violet flame, the action of Estrella, and therefore they are bowed down and do carry the weight of oppression and depression and despair of the world and the discouragement of which you have been hearing. But, beloved ones, you can clear them of it, for they are your loyal servants. But in some sense of the word, they are behaving like the bodies of mankind. They become listless, they become tired, they become burdened, they become overworked, For without the flame invoked in their behalf, until they themselves have a threefold flame whereby they can invoke it, they must rely on your heart flame. Yes, they decree with you, but they must have you to decree with you. See, for they depend upon the altar of your heart, as you depend on the altar of God's heart and upon the unfed flame. As God has placed an unfed flame in the earth in this age, so God has placed in you the altar for elemental life, and it is your heart chakra. Now you may understand that it is not just you and your family and your children, but each and every one of you has potentially millions of elementals who will depend upon that heart flame and upon that light. And therefore you need not look too far some days when you feel weary, for they are weary. Now behold the salamanders, and now behold the salamanders who have become adepts, who are moving toward a path of the ascension under Serapis Bay as you. Now behold them, beloved, behold the fiery salamanders as they are 9, 15, and 50 feet tall, and each one of them a spiraling, blazing rainbow ray light, and that rainbow ray does pass through them as a turning spiral, and that turning spiral, as you used to see in the barber shop, is actually a rising flame, whereby as it passes through anyone whom they will serve, that flame will part and will go into action in those 4 lower bodies for healing, for enlightenment, for whatever is the need of the balance of the hour. And thus you love to go out in nature, but I tell you, nature will serve you more on your hikes and walks and forays into the mountains, if you will take the occasion to make supreme attunement and to give fiats on behalf of these servants of God, and to send forth the glory that they have sent to you, to return fire for fire and call for the violet flame to saturate them, and for Astrea's cosmic circle and sword of flame to circle those who have become bow down under the curses and the matrices of the black magicians and those who practice witchcraft. Therefore they have become the servants of the fallen ones, and not unwittingly, for they know that they are imprisoned and they know that they are slaved. Yes, some of them have taken the left-handed path under their influence, but beloved, many others are enslaved and know it and desire to be cut free. Therefore your decree, set the elementals free, does work to liberate them from those untoward hexes that are put upon them as they are manipulated against the powers of light toward planetary cataclysm and destruction. Thus, beloved ones, we are the hierarchs who must obey the commands of the lords of karma, and do understand that there are cadres of elementals in each of the 4 quadrants of being who themselves have a certain adeptship, and they lead the troops as the karma descends, as it must be delivered, and angels overshadow them, and it is a mighty army of the Lord that does go forth when the time and the hour comes for karma to descend in fulfillment of the 7 archangels pouring out the vials of the 7 last plagues in the earth. Thus, beloved, even the 4 horsemen, when they send the edict of descending karma, must rely upon elemental life and the angelic host to see that it comes to each and every one in the exact measure and weight that it is prescribed by karmic law. Now then, beloved, I speak to you for the stepping up of the heart, for the stepping up of the soul and the spirit, and it is the stepping up by the rainbow fire. Henceforth, when you call to fiery salamanders, call to us, their hierarchs, Oромasis and Diana, for the rainbow fire. Call for this rainbow fire to come upon you, beloved, for you will see how it will not only heal you, but make you also the instruments of God's own healing. God's own healing is available this day. Let it be used by the wise and by the judicious, and by those who study to show themselves approved unto God and to the laws and standards of this earth body. I require and charge each and every one of you who would come into that stance of being able to command elemental life, that you seek that individual Christhood, and seek it by love, and seek it by wisdom, and seek it by the will, for the will is supreme in your life. You can will anything, for you have a divine spark in your heart. And the elementals who do not have that threefold flame, yet they also exercise the will of God, for we have taught them so to do. I must compare you this day, beloved, for sometimes you behave as though you did not have the greatest power in all of cosmos residing right in your own physical heart. Somehow and sometimes you behave as though it is not possible for you to transcend your present self. Well, it is the elementals who have that problem, beloved, but it is surely not yourselves. And when you recognize that will is the fiber and fire of your being, the means whereby you speak and act and do and think and love and plan and realize Godhood. Without will, there is nothing. Therefore, when you purpose to do anything, it is because you will it so, and that very action is a decree. Thus, if you will it so, that you shall have your Christhood, I tell you, nothing in this cosmos can stop you as long as you do it according to the law of God. And it shall come quickly, and the elementals will honor you, and they will perform for you. And they have already done so throughout these years of work and more work unto the glory of God. And those who have gloried in God and not in their lesser egos, they have emerged from the work cycle with a new self-esteem and God mastery. Whereas others who have entered that gall of bitterness and of condemnation and resentment, they have lost the prize of the effort, nobly begun and nobly won. And it shall be finished, beloved. We will it so, you will it so, and we will work together. Let all forces of heaven and earth work together to defeat all those who oppose the completion of these shelters in the heart, and these shelters in North and South Glastonbury, and shelters wherever keepers of the flame have enshrined them in the heart of the earth as the place of the stupa of the Buddha. For, beloved, it is the will of God. And those who embody the will of God in the earth will have their victory. Pass your tests along the way. We shall not whisper in your ear when they are coming, but we will continue to march with you until that moment when the cosmic Christ does say, "Ho, angels, ho, elementals, stand back and let the Son of God walk alone. With help from no one, he must decide his fate and his future and the rightness of his heart and the cosmic honor flame." Thus all stand apart, and the Son of God may feel supremely alone. And if there ever be a moment when you do feel alone, beloved, remember my word, for the day of aloneness must come to one and to all. Then you know that you are standing in a vacuum, waiting to be filled with the will of the Son of God, the daughter of God, who is that Son in her Christhood. Therefore, take the sense of aloneness as the sign that you are about to or are being initiated. Call unto God to fill a giant ovoid, an egg of light around you with light, 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 and the rainbow fire. You have heard of the rainbow rays, and our fiery salamanders are experts at drawing forth those rays and manifesting them in the rainbow spirals. I have said it, and I will say it again, that you might conclude, well, if fiery salamanders can do this, then I will do it also. For am I not a Son of God, sent forth to take dominion in the earth? And is not the nature kingdom under the command of the one who is that Son of God, always in God harmony? Therefore, I shall learn from fiery salamanders until I have mastered what they have mastered. I shall learn from the sylphs, from the undines, from the gnomes, and from their hierarchs, for earth is in trouble. Thus, beloved, so contemplating your aloneness, even within the entire cosmic egg, as there is an interval, and even angels hold their breath, so, in the sense of co-measurement of what you can do if you will pass through the fiery hoop in this particular trial, you go for it. You do, beloved. And you hang on. Remember the child who did hang on to the log for life for 7 hours, knowing that if she should let go, her life would be lost in the torrent let loose in the flood. I was there, beloved. So we did tend that calamity as we do all others. And that child and her determination ought to be recorded on your soul. Can you hang on to the will of God for 7 hours, knowing that your passing of your initiation depends upon it?
Yes!
I pray you will remember this conversation when the time comes. Remember now, I have said, the sign of approaching initiation is the sense of aloneness. What do you feel in that aloneness? Do you feel betrayed? Do you feel that no one understands? Do you feel that you have no identification with anyone else in the entire world? Do you feel that no one knows your heart in that moment that is so full of love and yet does almost bleed for those who cannot receive that love that Christ has placed there? I speak not of self-pity, and yet it is surely a temptation in that hour. But if you know that it is a moment that must be experienced by one who should enter the ranks of the sons of the solitude, then you will endure. You will not escape from the moment and seek to be like your so-called peers who are not your peers, but do surely peer at you and wonder and point. Do you seek mediocrity to have some sense of being a part of this world? If this is what you need for reinforcement, and that is your choice, then you will have it. But you will not have the reinforcement of the angels of God who come to the one who says, as Jesus did, "Father, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done." There are angels specifically assigned to those who come to this place on the path. Therefore, know it is all right to be alone and to sense this aloneness. How can you fill a space that is full or a time that is full? There must be a vacating of space and time that you might experience the aloneness and will that it be filled with God and God only. You know your God as companion, and then you do not feel alone. But the next test, beloved, is to know your God as the internal self, without failing the test of self-idolatry. When you know yourself as God, beloved, you shall find a new aloneness in a larger cosmos. Hopefully, in each succeeding test of aloneness, you will translate that word to all oneness and be at peace and enter samadhi, truly the samadhi of love, and love and love and love. May this be your purpose for going forth into the high country that surrounds you, when next you determine to put on your backpacks and take a true recreation through the fire in the mountain and through all that is waiting for you. May you walk along and say, flee all human consciousness, flee all human conditions. Be gone, be exorcised from this temple, for I would be alone with my God in the ovoid of light, and I would make my companions, those who need me most, the elementals who languish for need of the world mother, the world father, the world brothers and world sisters. Make for your companions these sheep, for I say to you in Jesus' name, feed my sheep, the blessed salamanders. Feed the sheep of Aries and Thor, the blessed sylphs. Feed the sheep of Neptune and Luara, the blessed undines. Feed the sheep of Virgo and Pelur, the blessed gnomes. Feed our sheep, for they are yours, and they love you. They love you, and they love you, and they love you. Some of you know how great is the love of man's best friend. Well, beloved, so great is the love of elemental life. Not only do they love, but they adore. They adore the flame in your heart, and if you neglect them, they still adore. There is almost nothing you can do to an elemental to thwart his love except to practice black magic or witchcraft against these elementals. And this brings me to my subject, beloved, for you see, any negativity in your consciousness does affect the elementals, for they are keenly sensitive, and therefore it is as though you were practicing black magic or witchcraft upon them, because they do bear the weight of the planetary feeling body. You will understand why our God has assigned billions and billions of elementals to a planetary home such as this, for out of compassion he has seen that they cannot bear it unless they are practically in numberless numbers, as the count may go. So you see, beloved, you have a number of reasons to reject the projection of planetary depression from your world, from your chakras. Thrust it forth. Do not allow it in your house, so that the elementals who tend you and would be tended by you will not be burdened by your emotional bodies. When you feel that vibration coming upon you of the weight of the world, make the fiery fiat of which you are so capable, one single fiery fiat into the sky, and behold, how many thousands of elementals will rush to fulfill it along with the angels of God. This life is intended to be joyous. If you become merry in the violet flame, they will become merry. Angels will become more merry, and it will reflect on humanity And when that joy comes, it is so powerful, it will burst the bubble of their delusions and illusions. For you see, precious ones, this level of being deluded cannot stand in the place of joy, for joy dispels the need to find delusions and illusions as an escape from reality. Whatever is contained in reality on this earth and the levels of actuality in which you live, it is better to contact it, be pricked by the pain, and name the pain and cast it into the flame swiftly, swiftly, swiftly. We stand in the presence of Helios and Vesta as we stand upon this altar. And in this moment, you will feel the cool breezes of the sun of your system. Yes, I said, the cool breezes of the Holy Spirit. Diana will speak to you now. I am called Diana, yet my name is taken from Diani, for I am the mother meditating upon the fire of the Buddhas on behalf of all of our children and all elemental life. And so as Mother Mary does hold the immaculate concept for the evolutions of God and also for elemental life, I raise up the mother flame. I raise up the mother flame with Virgo, with Luara, with the beloved mother of the sylphs. May you understand, blessed hearts, how needful this is. May you enter in to our calls in their behalf. I have brought with me today representatives of the four kingdoms. To each one of you is given a troop of elementals, some from each of the kingdoms. They will stay with you and obey your command that is heart-centered in the diamond heart of Mary and Moria. And they will remain as long as you tend them and nurture them, include them in your calls, and give them assignments only in keeping with the will of God, so long as you do not abuse them, but invoke them for many, many purposes in your life, not excluding the healing of the four lower bodies or the tending to practical matters. It is the desire of the Mother Omega that you should have this opportunity, for Mother Omega has said to us, if they feel the responsibility to be in the peace-commanding presence of the God power, the God control, the God reality of God harmony. Then they may rise to the occasion of setting aside the former ways of the human consciousness, and in so doing gain their own cadres of elementals who work in their behalf. Blessed ones, any assignment to an elemental of something that is not the will of God, and God forbid we do not expect the following to come from you, but it has happened in the past that individuals have sought to use elementals to wreak havoc upon their enemies, or to bring down some type of calamity upon them. Any such notion entertained, you will find yourself without these servers. Thus they are children, and you may consider that you have adopted a little tribe today, numbering 12. If anyone would prefer not to have this responsibility, then you may so signify. This is a trust that can be given to you. And as you see the results of your interactions with them and take them with you on your hikes, so you may come to realize what is this segment of the army of the Lord. For remember, our elementals range from those who are the least of the brethren in the earth and in the nature kingdom, all the way to those mighty elementals that serve with us under the Elohim of God, the builders of creation and of the temple of man. You will find elementals who have earned a threefold flame, who are wise indeed, and know all of the secrets of the science of health concerning the body and the earth body. They are chemists and alchemists. They are geologists and engineers. They even work under the archangels as architects of planetary systems. Thus, when these who are higher up on the scale of the hierarchy of our bands perceive your gentleness, yet your firmness, and your ability to marshal the forces of elementals for good works, they will begin to consider also becoming your obedient servants. By definition, the Christed One does have angels and elementals in his command. Wherefore you remember the words of Jesus. Do you not think that I can in this hour call to my Father, and that he will not send 12 legions of angels? Thus you realize that an initiation past may accord you a new contingents of servers. Therefore, beloved, if you decide today, after hearing all of us speak to you, that you are your own worst enemy, then I suggest that you remember that a house divided against itself cannot stand, and that you will understand that the reason it cannot stand is because that house and that individual has no support from any God manifestation until this problem be solved. For a divided house has not yet entered the path of chelaship. And the one who so allows his 4 lower bodies to divide him right and left, or his karma, or his psychology, should know that this is true, and this may be the root cause of your not going forward on the path as you can and as you should. Contemplate all of these things and know that at this moment, God in you is the healer, using many instruments to that end. You need not take years and years to come to a resolution with your God. It is a matter of your determined will. If you will summit it, you will know that God's will join you, and you will reach a level, albeit not the highest level of mastery, but a level of resolution and harmony whereby you can be assisted. I am Diana, Diani, and I am surely the repository of the secret rays of the Buddhas on behalf of elemental life. I come to offer you this help. Will you receive me and our bands as your helpers, beloved? In this solemn moment, the four hierarchs, their twin flames, and selected numbers of their legions now bow before this altar of the unfed flame, before the messenger, and before the God flame of yourselves. May you in turn also bow before your God and embrace that God, for none other may enter your temple and do this for you. This is the sphere of Omega. This is the sphere of Alpha. The four hierarchs and all of elemental life have vowed before this altar to keep the crystal cosmic cube as a focus in the etheric octave of the new heaven and the new earth and the new Jerusalem coming down from God out of heaven. As they keep the flame in the center of the crystal cube, may you remember that you are sons and daughters of Alpha, and you may hurl the crystal sphere. You may hurl the crystal sphere and send it forth into every knotty problem and everything that Mara and the legions of darkness may throw in your direction. Remember to say, I am a son of Alpha, a daughter of Omega, and I hurl the sphere of Alpha. I hurl the sphere, crystal white fire of Omega, into the cause and core of this challenge to my God identity, my God realization, and the precipitation of this word and work of God that is the will of my Father, Mother. So I make it my will, and I do it. For I am a doer of the word and work of God, and not a hearer and a spectator only. By the cosmic fohat that is released to our hierarchs, we seal you now and seal you unto your God. Keep the seal and let it not be broken in a rash moment. Only we can give it, and only you can keep it. Keepers of the flame, walk with God, and as you do, know that God, as elemental life, walks with you. Let us claim our victory through these dictations, this very contact with the throne of God, by singing, God is my victory, with the full fervor of our hearts and the full meditation on that yellow shaft of victory's flame. Victory's flame is golden yellow because there is no victory without cosmic Christ illumination. We are determined to have it and to expand it through the darkness of all being in this planet. We claim it now, O God, in gratitude for these releases which have gone to our very souls. Oh, may this soul, O God, of each one rise in the new dominion of responsible will. Number
554.
God is my victory, victory, victory. 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 And I am that victory, victory, victory. 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 I am that victory, victory, victory.